Because as the COVID-19 global pandemic continues to affect the South African aviation industry, creditors have endorsed the restructuring of the initial plans. The move is expected to mitigate the impact or the economic pressure and open a window for further engagement with partners, according to members of the unions in the country. Here's more details of that.
There are questions about the fleet, as an estimated 35 aircraft have been returned to their owners. The rescue plan is also vague on funding for new aircraft.
There's nothing in there that talks about, provisions for leasing new aircraft or acquiring new aircraft. There's nothing in there that talks about provisions for training of crew. There's nothing in there that talks specifically about how we're going to anchor all the losses of the initial years before they can turn a profit, if they can turn a profit.
The unions are relieved that the business rescue process is almost over.
We now have a lot of work to do, particularly with regards to the plan itself. There are some aspects of the plan that we're not entirely satisfied with, but we believe that some of those issues we'll be able to work through engagement together with the Department of Public Enterprises.
However, the COVID-19 pandemic has added additional pressure to the rescue plan.
So the very first thing that has to happen is government has to take a decision on reopening our borders and allowing for flights to start to resume. Because there's no point going off and signing leases on aircraft if the airplanes are just going to sit dormant on the ground. Similarly, there's no point starting to train up staff, pilots and cabin crew, if they're just going to lose their competency by sitting on the ground.
One of the other sticking points is likely to be the new interim CEO, Philip Saunders. His appointment was announced by the Public Enterprises Department.
Particularly because Philip Saunders is a member of the very same executive which has overseen the collapse of SAA. And we were very clear in our engagements with the DPE that this new South African Airways must be new in the true sense of the word. It must be new in the sense that it must be run by a completely new team of executives that don't have the baggage of the current executives.
With that letter of commitment from the government, it seems that SAA is going to find a new lease of life.
And that's the other thing, is government really spending the money wisely when we've got an entire aviation industry and infrastructure in the country that's on the verge of collapse? Airports need funding desperately. Our air traffic navigation service needs money desperately. Our civil aviation authority, which is the safety watchdog, is on its knees financially, all because they depend on revenue provided by airline passengers and airlines.